Hey everybody, Alex Kozora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Of course, TJ Watt's return, a big catalyst and big reason why Pittsburgh won this game on Sunday over the Saints 20-10, shutting New Orleans out in the second half. Want to talk about TJ Watt's obvious individual impact, the plays that he made in this game, and also talk about some of the plays that he allowed others to make because of the way New Orleans was forced to respect number 90. We'll start with the individual plays that Watt made, and when you talk about immediate impact, sometimes that's a bit hyperbolic, a bit exaggerated. Not the case with TJ Watt. His very first defensive snap after the false start New Orleans had, making an impact here. Tight end coming across because you better try to block TJ Watt, and Watt able to swim inside the tight end here and reminding teams that a tight end on Watt, a bad matchup for offenses. Sometimes that's just kind of what an offense ends up having to do, but you're seeing Watt be aggressive, swim over the tight end, maybe a bit of a different wrinkle here with Watt slanting down, Spillane scraping over the top here to provide edge support. You kind of see that right here, but Watt swimming over that tight end has no chance against Watt, and he's making the tackle along with Cam Hayward, who does not get cut off on the backside of this run by the left tackle, James Hurst. But TJ Watt, very first snap, making a play against the run. Now we'll look at TJ Watt as a pass rusher, and at the end of that last clip, you probably saw the energy that TJ Watt brought after making that stop, and that's one of those intangible qualities that Watt brings. But we'll look at what TJ Watt does best, and that's get after the quarterback. You see him swim the right tackle here, pressure Andy Dalton, and force an incomplete and inaccurate pass to the receiver, Jarvis Landry. So to break this one down, watching TJ Watt against the right tackle, his old Wisconsin teammate Ryan Ramczyk, and you see the club to swim here, the inside hand, kind of showing power initially to get the tackle to shoot his arms, and then clubbing with that inside hand to push that inside hand of the tackle down, and then swimming over with the outside hand to win clean here and getting that pressure on Andy Dalton. And you talk about pass game impact and how that influences quarterback play. You got, Robert Spillane here against Jarvis Landry, so you got receiver on linebacker. It is a sideline throw, so, if this pass had been complete, maybe not a ton of damage done, but still a matchup that is not ideal for the Steelers defense. Happens sometimes in these 2-minute situations, but that pressure from Watt forces that pass to be too far wide, too far outside, and incomplete. So there's Watt at the bottom, rushing from that 3-point stance, hand in the ground, which he does a lot more than what he did early in his career, essentially kind of a de facto defensive end. But watching it here against Ramczyk, that club, swim over the top, and then get pressure. Dalton, a poor base here, and that pass is incomplete because of TJ Watt. Similar to the first example against the run, watching Watt here on the tight end and just controlling these guys consistently. You cannot have a tight end that blocks TJ Watt. It does not work. It's been tried many times before, but obviously the way that offenses and defenses get structured, the right tackle on Ogunjobi on this play, and you're seeing Watt get into the chest of the tight end, number 82, and that's Adam Troutman. He's a big guy. I mean, he's more of an older school tight end out of Dayton, and Watt just tosses him aside to make the tackle on the back. And again, seeing the energy here that he brings, making those impact plays. So changing his alignment, sliding down at the end here a little bit, tight hands inside the chest, controlling the block of the tight end, Adam Troutman, and then shedding, finding the ball, and making the play. And how about Devin Bush? A little fight there. I'd like to see that from Devin Bush, but certainly like to see that more from TJ Watt. All right, so those are the plays that TJ Watt made, and you guys know TJ Watt is very, very good at football, so you don't need too many clips to get that point across. Let's talk about the impact that Watt had that isn't always about him making plays, him showing up on the stat sheet, but how offenses have to respect TJ Watt. We're going back to the first drive here, third down play. Here's TJ Watt as the left defensive end, and whenever he was out and you had, say, Malik Reed rushing here, most of the time, so much more often, you saw offenses and centers and guards sliding to Alex Highsmith, sliding to Cam Hayward, and that would create double teams there and try to minimize the impact those guys had. That's one of many reasons why I think Cam Hayward has been quieter this season. Not the only reason, but I think it's certainly one of them. So whenever TJ Watt's out there on third down, you better chip him, you better slide to him, and you see those things happen here. So you see the tight end trying to chip to slow down Watt here on this play to give the tackle some help, and you watch the center. Now that O-line is sliding to Watt's side, and you see that here, that whenever the center comes over to take Ogunjobi, the guard's going to come off, and he's going to help out the right tackle and make sure that Watt can't win to the inside. So basically, you have the tight end chip to slow him down, the tackle basically preventing anything to the outside, and the guard helping to prevent any sort of inside rush. And what that does, and the main point I'm showing you guys, is watch the game that Cam Hayward, Alex Highsmith play on this left side. Because the center is sliding away, that center is not going to provide help here when Hayward and Highsmith run their twist, run their stunt, and Highsmith gets inside as the looper on this play and gets free, and I think creates a bit of pressure there for Dalton that forces him to hit the check down and gets Pittsburgh's defense off the field. So I talked about this before the Saints game. I thought the Saints were not very good with their eyes and stunt recognition and pickup and things like that, and I thought that Hayward and Highsmith would run a lot of games, and you see that here, and that's really made effective because if that center is sliding to the stunt here, it's not going to work. Highsmith's going to get picked up, and this one really has no chance to succeed. But here, Highsmith, I mean, the guard sees it late and the ball comes out, but you're seeing how those things can be effective because of this the center and the offense now sliding to Watt as opposed to sliding to Hayward and Highsmith. And I think that was one benefit you saw in this game and one you will continue seeing from Pittsburgh's defense going forward. Last clip to show you guys, and similar to the one we just looked at again, the center sliding to TJ Watt so the guard can help out on TJ Watt's side, and that creates more one-on-one opportunities for Cam Hayward and Alex Highsmith. So watching Highsmith pick up the sack on Andy Dalton here late in the second quarter, and again, oftentimes in the past you'd be seeing the slide to Hayward, to Highsmith. And what that does, I think it hurt Hayward more because it created more double teams. But we're watching Highsmith on this play. Great inside spin, one of his best moves, probably his best pass rush move. It's a great counter, great changeup whenever that tackle sits on speed, sits on the edge rush. Hypothetically, you had that center sliding to the left here. That guard probably helps squeeze some of that gap. He's probably got his drag hand feeling for any sort of game or interior type pressure there. And it's going to be a lot harder for Highsmith to execute that spin and win into this B gap here between left tackle and left guard. But now you have the guard one-on-one with Hayward, so there's no way to give any sort of help or any sort of ability to kind of squeeze this gap here. And now Highsmith has what you have is called a two-way go. He can rush inside or rush outside, rushes inside here based on the tackle set and his own pass rush plan because you're seeing the center slide to Ogunjobi, and so the guard can slide to Watt, and the right tackle and right guard can double team him. So that's the domino effect there. It's creating more one-on-one opportunities for Hayward, for Highsmith, and giving those guys more freedom to rush the passer, and you felt a pass rush. Although it only had 2 sacks, which is not a tremendous number, it certainly had more consistent pressure in this game. That is TJ Watt's impact. Obviously, his actual play is still fantastic, and to me, he looked like the same old TJ Watt. Didn't look any worse for wear coming off that pec injury. I mean, I don't know if it's exactly 100%, and I'm sure he'll say he'll feel a lot better come, say, week 1 of next year, but where he's at right now is in a good place, and where the Steelers defense is at is in a very good place without Minkah Fitzpatrick, and hopefully he comes back potentially for Sunday's game against the Bengals, which would be remarkable. But whenever he gets back, you'll have Hayward, you'll have Watt, you'll have Minkah, and you'll have a chance to really play some strong defense for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. So those are my thoughts on TJ Watt's return. Appreciate you guys watching. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I'd appreciate that. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.